Hey guys, it's Erica from Mother of Two What to Do. I wanted to get on here and do a video for you. Obviously, this is a video. Good job. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning and I just finished my yoga. Yes, I did put a little makeup on before I got back on here, but I just finished my Yoga with Adriene, which if you read my blog, you know I absolutely adore Yoga with Adriene. She has a YouTube channel called Yoga with Adriene. And right now I'm doing her yoga camp, but I absolutely adore her. I think she is amazing. She's very personable in her videos. And during this yoga camp, because she had another 30 days of yoga that she did, but during this yoga camp, she also started including mantras during each one. And the one for today was I am worthy. And I've been wanting to do a video for the last couple of days because I want to start doing more videos. You know, there's a lot of times I want to get on my blog and write stuff, and I'll start writing and I'll write like 2-3 paragraphs, and then I'll be like, you know what, they don't really need to know that, and then I'll back everything up, and then I'll write it again, or I'll write something different, and it always ends up being about the same thing that I wrote before. I just get a little frustrated and then I back up. And normally I'm not like that all the time. It's just, you know, as I've stated in my blog before, or if you know, if you've never been to my blog, it's my Mother of Two What to Do blog, and I'll put the link down below. But even if you've never been there or don't want to go there, you can always just check me out. I'm going to start doing more videos. I don't know why you'd want to know about my life, but in case you do want to know about it and talk about some random things, this is the first video of that randomness that I'm going to do. Hopefully it won't all be like completely random, but obviously I do ramble a little bit and it will be kind of random to a point because I've already talked about yoga and all kinds of other stuff, and it's just been one flow of craziness. But now in my blog, you know, I've spoken about depression before, and every once in a while it'll come around. I feel like once you've had it before in your life, it will always come around every once in a while. Like it'll hit, and you know, lately, I don't want to say lately because lately isn't really, more like over the past, you know, I'd say year, because I had a hard time at the beginning of the year after I lost my job and, you know, was at home with my kids. Financially, it wasn't easy just having one income when you have two little ones, but so I had a little hard time then, but you know, I've been doing really great since then. And when it came around again, I just kind of blew it off, you know, pushed through with my confidence and my happiness and my family and life, kind of like, psh, forget you, it doesn't matter. This time when it came around, it kind of reminds me of sickness. If you're exhausted or going through some things, if your personal life isn't 100% in check or your work life isn't in check, when it hits, it can kind of grip onto those things. And for me, I was a little exhausted. My sister just had her baby. Yay, I have a niece, my first niece. Love her so much and so excited that she was here. But I was kind of out of my routine, which for me is a really difficult adjustment. You know, I'm a routine person, and anything out of routine, no matter how exciting or not exciting it is, it takes a little bit for me to catch up. And you know, I had 2 days that were completely out of my routine on a norm of stuff. I don't usually do much. I'm just coming home with my kids, picking up my boys, and, you know, come home, go to work, come back, hang out with my husband and my kids. So, you know, I can plan things. I mean, that's not the problem. It's just, it was a little bit out of my norm, and kind of threw me off. I was overexhausted. I hadn't been getting much sleep. And when it hit this time, you know, it hit me a little bit harder than it normally does, and kind of gripped a hold of those things and dragged me down a little bit. And so I've been fighting it these last, you know, couple of weeks. And I don't know, it's just been a little difficult. You know, I have my moments where I just get kind of sad and think about the fact that, you know, I'm having some issues with family, which really bums me out. I'm not big on confrontation and fighting and stuff like that. And when there's stuff like that, I just I don't want to go much into that stuff. I don't want to sit here and spill my whole personal life, but I do want to share the part about the depression, even though it is very, very personal. I want other people to know that, you know, people go through it. I mean, you're not alone. I'm sure there aren't a lot of people that like to talk about it because it's something that's kind of uncomfortable and people look at you kind of different. Maybe they don't understand because they've never been through it, or they've never watched somebody kind of go through it themselves. I know my husband, you know, when I first met him, it was very difficult for him. He didn't understand depression and anxiety because he had never dealt with it. You know, I would be anxious or depressed or just going through something, and he's like, why don't you just, you know, tell yourself it's okay and you're fine? And I'm like, I can do that to a point, but it doesn't really work that way. And now, you know, he's seen it enough that when I'm having a hard time with it, he just, hey Erica, you know, you got to try and think of other things, you know, try and be positive. Remember that sometimes the things that you're thinking aren't real, because a lot of my depression, I know some people's can be different, but with mine, I really beat myself up inside, and I assume other people are doing the same thing. I assume that other people are having a problem with me or think bad things. And it's not like crazy psychotic, like you look at me and I'm like, oh my God, she hates me. It's not like that. That would be terrible. I mean, maybe sometimes depending on who you are, but I'm not that crazy, just partially. But I mean, like, for instance, you know, with this family member, we're having kind of issues on, if I don't hear something from them, and I've tried to speak with them or something and I don't hear something, or I get like one, you know, one word responses in text messages, I'm just like, wow, this is really like falling apart, I guess. You know, maybe I really did something wrong, or no, but I know I didn't, and I know that I've already, you know, gone through those things and forgiven myself for whatever I've done and forgiven them for whatever they've done, and it's just kind of, yeah, it's not in my hands anymore. So, but just those little things, like I think more on them than I normally would. And even, you know, even with other family members, I'll just think things, and my husband will just have to say, just stop, you know, stop thinking this stuff. Even with him, there have been times when I'll text and I'll be like, why isn't he texting me back? You know, did I upset him? Did I say something earlier? Silly thoughts that I know inside, like it's just like anxiety when your heart is racing, you know, 1,000, you know, beats, and it's just so hard, and you're just telling yourself, I don't want to be anxious. I want to be calm. Please calm down. You know, just please calm down, heart. Be chill. I know things are okay, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because, you know, it's not something you can really control 100%. And I guess that's kind of how it is with my mind. I'm like, those people don't hate you. They don't have a problem with you. They're not, you know, they're not upset with you. You're just being silly, but my mind still does it regardless. You know, it still kind of fights me, and it's frustrating and it's hard, but I'm gonna get through it just like I do every other time. It's just getting through it, and it's frustrating because I don't want to have to go through it. I don't want to have to deal with it, especially when I'm so happy. Like, I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with my family. I love my boys. I have 2 little boys. If you don't read my blog, I have 2 little boys, and they're 10 months apart to the day. One's 2, one's 1. I was pregnant for like basically 2 years. It was very overwhelming and hormonal. That's pretty much what, like, the way to describe it. It was hormonal. And it was exhausting. It was so exhausting. And in fact, my memory for today on Facebook was like, I'm 34 weeks pregnant with a 9-month-old, and I work full time, and I'm exhausted. And I was. And I'm really glad that's over and I don't have to deal with that. But I don't know. It's just dealing with this stuff. And I want, you know, if you deal with it, I want you to know you're not alone. A lot of people go through it, like I said. I know a lot of people who deal with it, and they'll come and talk to me about it because they know I deal with it. I'm a little bit more open about it because, you know, I know people, I've lost people in my life before. Not people that I was like really, really close to, but people that I was associated with and knew, and, you know, they've gone the permanent route, which is just so heartbreaking to me. You know, suicide has it breaks my heart. It's such a terrible and devastating thing, and it tears people apart all those people that you leave behind, your family, your friends, it shreds them. It really does. And I want everyone to know, I may not know you. I may not know you at all. I may know you and maybe we don't have a good relationship. I may be best friends with you and maybe you just haven't thought to talk to me lately. But if you ever need something, or, if you just need to write, feel free. You always need to know that somebody out there cares enough to listen. And I'm one of those people. I'm sure you have family and friends that love you more, maybe more than you think they do if you are dealing with depression, because sometimes it can be really hard on you, and you can be really hard on you. But that was kind of one of the whole point of that was the good thing about Yoga with Adriene is the mantras that she's doing with this yoga camp. I just did day 20 because I'm a little behind. I hurt my wrist. I think it was like the second weekend or third week while I was working out, because I'm a dork and didn't work with I don't know. I guess I didn't work with the machine properly. I think a lot has to do with my nerves too. I have some nerves that are messed up, and one of the machines that I was using when I was doing, squats. I was doing some squats, and I was putting it here. And even though I was putting it where I was told to put it, because I asked somebody, like, I'm not going to sit in there and go and act like I know how to use a machine when I really don't. But I asked someone, and I put it on there, and I think because my nerves are messed up right there when I was doing it, I think the weight of it, even though I had one of those little cushion things to kind of support your shoulders, I think the weight of it just kind of messed my, I can't talk. Sorry, I got my light behind my head too. Like, I had it over here and I was like glowing. So I put it behind me. So now it's like glowing randomly every once in a while. I'm not an angel. I don't glow like this. This is not a highlight, some special kind of highlight that you don't know about. But anyway. Anyway, so I like messed with my nerves and kind of messed up my, like, the wrist. Like, I guess my nerve kind of messed up my wrist and my finger. I had like a swollen finger and like a hurt wrist for a while. So I was a little behind on my yoga, so I just did day 20, and the mantra was, I am worthy. And it was a really good time for me to have an I am worthy mantra. And Adriene says a lot of things while she's doing her yoga. And, it's an at-home yoga, so she records these before. It's not like she's sitting there talking to me. It's not like she knows what I'm going through. But a lot of the things that she said tonight really applied to my life. And I've been wanting to do this video, and I guess, like, just listening to her say some of the things that she said, maybe 100%, like, I was just going to go and do it tomorrow while my kids were sleeping, because I'm off tomorrow from work, and I figured while the kids take a nap, I can go ahead and do a quick video. But I really wanted to do it tonight because the I am worthy mantra really hit home with me. I mean, how often do you really tell yourself that you're worthy? You're worthy of love. You're worthy of support from your friends and family. You're worthy of love from yourself and from others, You can't sit there and beat yourself up and tell you that you don't deserve someone. 99.9% of the time, you're just hurting yourself and, taking away something that could be really beautiful and wonderful for you. But right now, I'm doing that to myself. I'm hurting myself and sitting there kind of telling myself I'm worthy, I'm worthy of God's love, and I love God. I'm a Christian, and I know that you can say I'm a Christian. It means so many things. For me, it means I love God 100%. He's my number one, and He's always been there, and that's one of the things I love about Him. A lot of people say that God doesn't communicate to them, and to me, God communicates through, music, like lyrics. I know it sounds weird, but just listen to the whole thing. So, like, lyrics or blog posts, stuff like that. Whenever I'm having a really hard time, all of a sudden one of my blogs will say, is God with you during your hard times? And I'll be like, okay, all right, I'll check it out. Like, I get what you're saying. I know you're with me. Or, like, I'll be, really upset, feeling really alone, and like a song will come on that you are not alone or something, and I'm like, all right, thank you. Like, I know I'm being silly, but I don't know. To me, that's how God communicates to me. That's how I feel Him. There's too many coincidences in my life, too many kind of moments where I felt like He was communicating for it to just be coincidences. There's no way that many times it's happened that it's just a coincidence. But, that's just like tonight with Adriene telling me you know, I am worthy. And, you know, take a breath and just remember that, you know, you don't have to be so hard on yourself all the time. And you really don't, you know. Remember that you are worthy of love. You're worthy of love from yourself, and you're worthy of love from others. And remembering to love myself, and that it's okay and that I deserve it is something I really needed right now, because it's so silly that you know, depression can really mess with your mind, and it can really tear you up. And it doesn't affect me in a way that, you know, I'm really negative or hateful to anyone else. I don't get, you know, overly angry or upset at other people, but I do get upset at myself, and I do lose that confidence for a little bit. And of course, when it's gone, I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'm 20, I think I'm 28. Yeah, my husband, yeah, I'm 28 years old. I always forget how old I am. But I'm 28 years old. My life is a lot different than I thought it would be at this age, but it's a good thing. It's a good kind of different. You know, I always saw myself having kids a lot younger, and I think that when I met my husband, the time that we took, we didn't, I mean, time kind of flew with us in our relationship, but I mean, everything just worked out the way that it was supposed to work out. And I ended up with somebody I was supposed to be with, or I feel with all my heart that I'm supposed to be with him. And I have two beautiful boys. And even though they were, you know, my second was much, much, much a surprise. I can tell you that story another day. And they were 10 months apart. And like I said, I was pregnant while I was, you know, had an infant child.